Hello dear friends, today I am going to talk about the tissue. What is the tissue? The tissue are aggregate or group of the cell organized to perform one or more specific functions. Means the tissue is aggregate or we can say group of the cell organized to perform one or more specific functions. Tissue, or in simple language we can say the tissue are the group of the cell. They have the similar structure and togetherly they perform the specific function that is called tissue. Or another definition is the tissue is the group of the cell that usually have the common embryonic origin and functions together to carry out specialized activities. Or in the simplest way we can say that the tissue is the group of the cell. They have the common origin but they commonly perform the specific function that is called tissue. Tissue is divided into different types. Mainly in the body have four types of the tissue, broadly divided into four types of tissue. That is, the first one is epithelial tissue, second is the connective tissue, third one is the muscular tissue, and fourth one is the nervous tissue. So for epithelial tissue is tissue that cover the body surface and line the hollow organs, body cavities and duct. It also form the glands, so its have origin is the ectoderms. So overall the body surface area is covered by the epithelial tissues, and the hollow organs, inner lining of the hollow organs also covered by the epithelial tissue, and most of the body cavities also lined by the epithelial tissue, like the pleural cavity, a pericardial cavity. We can talk about the peritoneal cavity. These all cavities are formed by this epithelial tissue, and it also have the important role in the glands. They are the forming the secretion part of the secretory part of the glands. So this secretions is called hormones, we can say. So it is form the glandular portion also in the body. Next is the connective tissue. Connective tissue is the protective and support the body and its origin. Means connective tissue, from the by the name it is we can clarify the connective means that connect the all things. So connective means this connect the other tissues, or we can connect the body organs each other. So this is called connective tissue. This various types of connective tissue bind organs together and store the energy reservoir as a fat and help provide the immunity to disease causing organisms. So it means it provide the immunity to the body, and it provide the energy reservoir, and it is bind with the other tissue to other tissues. So this is the function of the connective tissue. Next one is the muscular tissue. Muscular tissue generate the physical force. So person is moving from one place to other place, and this is due to only the muscles tissues. So muscle tissue is giving the energy to the body to move from one place to other place, or we can see the physically force created by the muscles tissue. They making the body structures move and generate the body heat also, and it also we can say it is the generating the body heat also. So muscular tissue is this type. Next one is the nervous tissue. Nervous tissue that detect the changes in the variety of the condition inside and outside of the body, and respond by generating the action potential that activate the muscles contraction and glandular secretions. Means nervous tissue is the detecting the changes. Is specific type of the nervous tissue that detecting the conditions, detecting the changes in outside or inside of the bodies, and it generate the response by the help of action potential. Here we can say generating the response that is called action potential that activate the muscles contractions, and it force the gland to secretions, so they making the homeostasis in the body. So this is the nervous tissue. So let's start one by one or discussion. So today I have more detailed discussions about the epithelial tissue. So let's start the epithelial tissue. So epithelial tissue, epithelial means plural word is the epithelium, consists of cell arranged in continuous sheet it in either single or multiple layers. So we can say the epithelial tissue is the arranged in the sheath types, or we can say flat layers of the cells. In it can be single layer, it can be multiple layers. epithelial tissue form the covering and lining throughout the bodies. Means epithelial tissues, they form the lining of the body. Yeah, we can say inner portion of the each and every organs, those are have hollow, and next one is the it covering the outer surface of the body like the skin. So it made up skin is made up by this epithelial tissue. So it have specific characteristics. These cells are closely placed and are held together tightly by many cell junctions. So these cells are closely packed. That means these cell to cell adhere with the closely tight junctions. Next one is the little intracellular space between adjacent plasma membrane. They have the little intracellular spaces between the adjacent plasma membranes also. It never covered by the other tissue, so it always has free surface. It have very specific type of the characteristics of the epithelial tissue. It one side of this epithelial tissue is do not covered by any other type of the tissues. Means it one side of the epithelial tissue always remain as free border. So this free surface is called apical surface. So let's start the talk about the what are the surfaces of the epithelial tissues or epithelial cells on the epithelial tissue. There are the various surface. First one, that is the not covered with any other tissues that are present toward the cavity of the cavity surface or body surface, or we can say cavity. So this is called apical surface. And on the apical surface, sometimes it contain the cilia, or sometimes it can contain the microvilli. It is a specific with the specific location of the tissues where they are present, like it present in the respiratory systems, it present in the digestive systems. They having the microvilli and cilia in the respiratory systems, nasal cavity, it present this, they making the cilia like structures over there. So we can say the apical surface have some changes. So this is cilia and microvilli also. Next one is the lateral surface. The lateral surface of the epithelial cells that face the adjacent on either side. So means lateral surface means side by side the relations with the other type of other cells. So this is the lateral surface. These are tightly closely packed this side of the, yeah, we can say this surface of the epithelial tissue. Next one is the surface present on the base side. So this is called the basal surface of epithelial tissue. It is opposite to the apical surface. Means apical surface is top side, then the basal surface present in the inner side, lower side we can say, and the basal surface adhered to the basement membrane. So one side of the epithelial tissue is adhered with the basement membrane, and the lateral side is adhered with the lateral side is adhered with the common type of the cells. On apical surface, that is remain always free. It is on the surface, on the body surface, or we can say inside the body cavity. So basement membrane is a thin extracellular that function as point of attach and support for the overlying epithelial tissue. The basement membrane is the thin extracellular that function as point of attachment and support to the epithelial tissue. So it giving the support and attaching point to the epithelial tissue, or we can say the basement membrane is present, epithelial tissue is present on the basement membranes. So this is common characteristic related to the epithelial tissue. Then now is the type of the epithelial tissue. So type of the epithelial tissues, they are according two types are divided in the epithelial tissue. First one, that is on the cell shape. So on the basis of the cell shape, so cell shape is present is squamous cell. There are the floor tiles like presentation of the cell, that is called squamous cells. In this have centrally present nucleus, and this surface of this cell is the flat, very thin type of cells. They have the width of the cell is too much rather than their height, yeah, we can say thickness. So this is the squamous cells. Second one is the cuboidal cells. Cuboidal cells, they have the shape like the cube or hexagon, or we can say cube like shape present of the cell, that is the cuboidal cells. In this also nucleus present on the center. Next one is the columnar cells. They are the much taller than they are wide like the columns. So we can say this is the columnar cells. The columnar cells, they have taller, they have too much length in the comparison of their width. So this is the columnar cells. If we talking about the arrangement of the layers, so epithelial tissues is divided into two type of the tissue, two type of the structurally we can say two type of the layer of the arrangement of the tissues. So first one simple and second one is the stratified. single layer of the cell present, means only single layer is present, that is called simple epithelial tissue. If the multiple layer present, that time we can say that is a stratified epithelial tissue. So let's start about that. So combination, the two characteristics, first one that is arrangement of the layers, and second is the cell shape. So we both are taking in making the classification of the epithelial tissue. The type of covering and lining epithelium are as follow. So first one, that is simple epithelium. So simple epithelium means, simple word means that is the single cell, single line of the cells present in this one. So it is the simple. And the name of this shape, according to shape we giving the name, like the simple squamous epithelium means singular line of the tissue, singular line of the cell present in this, and the shape is the squamous. So this is called simple squamous epithelium. If the second is the simple cuboidal epithelium, in this also single layer and they have cube like structure, so this is called simple cuboidal epithelium. Third one is the simple columnar epithelium. This is simple columnar epithelium means that the in this the single layer present of the epithelial tissue, they have shape as a column, so this is called simple columnar epithelium. It is two type, first one that is non-ciliated and second one is the ciliated. If cilia is present, we can say it is a ciliated. If cilia is not present, this is called non-ciliated. Next one is the pseudo-stratified columnar epithelium. This is a specific type of the simple epithelium tissue, because this tissue resembles looking like as that they have the stratified, but they have only single sheet of layer of the cells, because why they are looking like stratified, because they have the cell shape size is the, some cell is the smaller, some cell is the tall, so this making the like that structures. In this like that structure they have the so many layers, so this is called pseudo stratified columnar epitheliums. Actually they are single layer of the cells, but they have different size of the cells in this one. So this is looking like as a multiple layer of the cells, so this is called pseudo stratified columnar epithelium. Pseudo word is for the false, so this is the false stratified columnar epitheliums. Next one is the stratified epithelium. Stratified epithelium, in this the layer of the tissues in layer of the cells present two or more than two, so this is called stratified epithelium. So stratified squamous epithelium, second stratified cuboidal epithelium, third one stratified columnar epithelium. So stratified squamous epithelium means in this the cells present one layer is the basement membrane, then second layer, then third layer, and top layer is present is the very thin flat surface like the cells, so that is called stratified squamous epithelium. So we giving the name of the stratified epithelium by the top layer. Top layer if present is cube like structure cell, so that is called stratified cuboidal. If top layer of this stratified cells, stratified squamous stratified epithelium जो है, so this if have columnar like structure, so this is called stratified columnar epithelium. So this name is decided why this the top layer of the cells. If we squamous, then squamous we can say. If the cuboidal, then we can say cuboidal. Or if stratified is a columnar, then we said it is the stratified columnar epithelium. Next one, first is simple epithelium. The simple epithelium, simple squamous epithelium is described as single layer of the flattened cells. It have the single layer flattened cell and located nucleus and cytoplasm present in this one, and simplest of the epithelia. Its location is the line heart, blood vessels, lymphatic vessels, air sac of the lungs, glomerular capsule of the kidney, and inner surface of the tympanic membranes, and form the epithelial layer of the sensory membrane such as the peritoneum, pericardium, and pleura. So serous membrane is making as the peritoneum, pericardium, and pleura. So these are the locations of the simple squamous epithelium. Its function is the filtration, diffusion, osmosis, and secretion in serous membrane. So these are the function of simple squamous epitheliums. Next one, simple cuboidal epithelium. Simple cuboidal epithelium is a layer of cube-shaped cell, centrally located nucleus. They cover surface of ovary. The location is cover surface of ovary, line anterior surface of the capsule of the lens of the eyes, form the pigmented epithelium at the posterior surface of the eye, lines kidney tubules and smaller duct of many glands and make up the secreting portion of the some gland as the thyroid glands and the duct of some gland such as the pancreas. So this is the simple cuboidal epithelium tissues. They have cube-like structures and centrally located nucleus. So its function is the secretions. They secrete some hormone secretions, and then second is the absorptions. It also absorb the simple cuboidal epithelium cells. Also we can say present in the tubular and smaller duct of the many glands. Kidney tubulars also present, so where this creation and absorptions doing the for the maintaining the function of the we can say kidney. So simple cuboidal epithelium. Next one is the simple columnar epithelium. A simple columnar epithelium is the single layer of the tall cell with round to oval nuclei. Some cells bear the cilia. Layers may contain the mucus secreting unicellular glands. Mucus secreting unicellular glands is called goblet cell. So location, it's ciliated if cover the surface of the ovary, line anterior surface of capsule of the lens of the eyes, form the pigmented epithelium at the posterior surface of the eye, lines kidney tubules and smaller duct of many glands and make up the secretion portion of some glands such as the thyroid glands and duct of some gland as the pancreas. So this is the location of the simple columnar epithelium tissues, we can say. They are also the non-ciliators. Lies the gastrointestinal tract from the stomach to the ends, duct of many glands and gallbladders in this present this type of cells. Next one क्या है? Function, secretions and absorption. It also have same function like the simple cuboidal जो है epitheliums, like these have simple columnar epithelium function, secretion and absorption. Next one, pseudo-stratified columnar epithelium. Pseudo-stratified columnar epitheliums in the stratified tissue, they are not a truly stratified tissue. Nuclei of the cell are different levels. The all cells are attached to basement membranes, but not all reach the apical surface. So some cells remain below the apical surface. Some of cell is reach on the apical surface. So this is the up-down type structures present. So looking like the multiple layers and set the pseudo-stratified columnar epithelium. Location is the pseudo-stratified ciliated columnar epithelium, like the airway of the most of the upper respiratory tract. So upper respiratory tract is mostly कौन सा upper respiratory tract mostly is formed by the lined by the pseudo-stratified columnar epitheliums. This is the pseudo-stratified non-ciliated columnar epitheliums lie larger duct of many glands, epididymitis and part of male urethra function is secretions and movement of the mucus by ciliary action. So this is the pseudo-stratified columnar epithelium. They have function in the secretion and movement of the mucus by the ciliary action. Next one is the stratified epithelium. The stratified epithelium is the stratified squamous epithelium. There are several layers of the cells, cuboidal to columnar shape in deep layers. Squamous cells form the apical layer, and the several layer deep to its cell from the basal layer replace surface cell they are lost. So they have location is keratinized variety from superficial layer of the skin, non-keratinized variety line wet surface such as lining of the mouth, esophagus, part of the larynx, part of the pharynx and vagina and cover the tongues. So stratified squamous epitheliums have the two types. First one is the keratinized, second is the non-keratinized. If keratinized present in this one, the top layer of these cells is present by the keratinized cell, so they have dead like cells. They have the stuff and they prevent the transpiration of the prevent exchange of the molecules. So this is a tough surface and it is a dry surface, so our skin is always looking like the dry. So or if non-keratinized present in the cells, stratified squamous epithelium if non-keratinized means in the keratin is not present, keratin protein not present, so they have the making the wet through the surface like the oral cavity, like the vagina, and cover the tongue. This non-keratinized covering the tongue, so always tongue is remain the wet. So this is the difference in the keratinized non-keratinized stratified squamous epitheliums. Its function is that the protect the underlying tissue in area where subject to be abrasions. So where is the abrasions, where is scratch, where can be some press, so detection. So this type of the area, the protecting the tissues, this type of area they are protecting the tissues. So this is stratified skin epithelium. Next one is the stratified cuboidal epithelium. Two or more layer of the cells in which the cell in the apical layer are cube shape. In the apical layer is the cube shape. Example is the duct of the adult, sweat glands, salivary glands, mammary glands, and part of the male urethra. Function is the protection and limited excretions and absorptions. It's have function, limited excretion and absorption. The stratified cuboidal epitheliums, it present in present in the male urethra, mammary glands, and salivary glands, we can say. Next one is the stratified columnar epithelium. The stratified columnar epitheliums, this layer of irregular shaped cells, and the only apical layer has columnar cell located the line part of the urethra, and large excretory duct of the some glands such as the esophagus glands, esophageal glands, small area in the anal mucous membrane, and part of the connective of the conjunctiva of the eyes. So this is the location of the stratified columnar epithelium. In this cells, we can say apical surface is cuboidal like columnar like cells present. So this is stratified columnar epithelials. It function also protection and excretion. So here you noticed this all type of epithelial stratified epithelial tissues have function is the protection and excretions, and so this is called protective and excretions part of the stratified epithelial tissue, even be it is the columnar, even be it is the cuboidal, and even with the squamous. So this is the stratified columnar epithelium. Next one is the transitional epithelium. The transitional epithelium, it is this variable transitionals appearance is the transitionals, means the shape of the cell is changed as the as per requirement of that one. So shape of the cell is apical layer arranged from the squamous when stressed and to cuboid when relaxed. So example is the urinary bladders. In the urinary bladders, the inner lining surface present the transitional epithelial cells. So epithelial cells, if the urinary bladder is empty, so there are the constrict, and they making the relaxed portion, they making the cuboidal like cells. Or if urine filled in this one, and they make, and their cells are stressed, and they making the squamous like cell like structures. So the so in the stretching condition, it is cells looking like the squamous, or when it is the relaxed, then cells looking like the cuboidal. So we can say it is the transitional epithelium. The shape of the cell is transferred from the one shape to the another shape. So we can say the transitional epithelium, it is specific type of epithelial tissue only present in the urinary system. Here we can say bladder. So line urinary bladder and portion urethra and ureters and urethra. So in the urinary system present, the function is stretch readily and permit the distension of the urinary organ by constant urine. Next, so these are the types of related to the epithelial tissue. These are the simple and stratified epithelial tissue as per the like the they are the according to their line of the cells. If single layer, that is the simple epithelial tissue. If cells lining is the multiple layers, two or more than two layers present, then time we can say it is the stratified epithelial tissue. To the and next and is session is the question session. What is the tissue? Enlist the basis types of the tissue found in the body. What is the epithelium tissue, and what are the characteristics of epithelial tissue? Enlist the various function of the epithelial tissue. What is the function of the basement membrane? Write the note on simple epithelial tissue and its types. Write a note on stratified epithelial tissue and its types. So this is the questions which always comes in the internal exam, main exams, or at any times. So you should know about that properly, how the tissues you have. So thank you. Now this tissue epithelial tissue is completed.